Cool. So yeah, definitely remember him. Um, oh, maybe somebody can tell me um, what is programmatic music? That's also from chapter 5. Let's see here. So yeah, so programmatic music, that was music that yeah, programmatic music is music that attempts to describe specific places, people, or events. And so, there's music that it's yeah, yeah, programmatic music. Yeah. So there's music that's, just even today, it's just made for you to dance to, right? Stuff like that. Or, it's made to just make you feel good or something, right? But then there's also those songs that you listen to that have like a deeper meaning behind it. And it might be talking about, a person, it could be talking about an event, or it could talk about a place maybe even too. So that is programmatic music. History of Japan. Yeah, I don't know what song does that, but I'm sure there are plenty of songs that have, they're talking about kind of history of Japan. Yeah, I would think so. Um, oh, okay. Bill Wirtz. Yeah, I don't know that one. I'll have to check it out. Um, but yeah, so an example of programmatic music that we looked at was the tune by Duke Ellington, Black and Tan Fantasy. Does anyone want to tell me the what was Black and Tan clubs? Oh, that would be in this week's lecture, huh? So maybe some of you guys haven't got there yet. That would make sense. Um, but Black and Tan clubs were clubs that invited both black and white people to watch. So, you have to remember during this time in the late 20s, there's still very much, racism and segregation and all that. And so you had sections of New York that would only allow white people in, and then you'd have other sections that only let black people in. But there are clubs that would invite both races, and so they would call those black and tan clubs. And so Duke Ellington's tune "Black and Tan Fantasy" is a kind of a programmatic music that represents those clubs. And so with that tune, there's two sections to it. The first section is a 12-bar blues, and that represents the black clubs, or the black side of the black and tan clubs. And it's based on a spiritual that one of the writers of the tune, Bubber Miley, he learned from his mother. So he based this part off of a spiritual. So this represents the black part of the black and tan clubs. And then the next part is a 16-bar melody written by Duke Ellington. So this part's by Ellington, and this represents the tan part of the clubs. And this part draws on ragtime traditions of the 1920s. So you have the 12-bar blues is the black side, and the 16-bar melody by Duke Ellington is the tan side. So they both of those together represent the black and tan clubs. That's why I call it Black and Tan Fantasy. Uh, and so that's an example of programmatic music. I'm sure you guys have heard a bunch of programmatic music tunes that you didn't even know, was like that. So, but yeah, that one is definitely a good programmatic tune. Let's see here. We still have a couple minutes left. We got about 10 minutes left. So if you have any last minute questions, if this is sparking anything, feel free to ask me. Maybe look at the review guide, and if there's something you don't know, maybe this would be a good time to ask. I'm just going to keep kind of rolling down some of the list of things that I have. Let's see here. Oh.
Professor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you like clarify about like the listening guides? Like an example would be like, for example, for a question, will there be questions from the listening guide, right? So like, what should we expect from that?
Oh, right. Okay. So, like I mentioned before, normally in class, I would play the music and you would try to guess which one it is, or hopefully you would know which one it is. But in this case, since I don't really feel like that's a good idea to do on an online test, so I'm just going to have questions that deal with those tunes. So, for example, one of the ones on here is Billie Holiday singing "A Sailboat in the Moonlight." And so I may ask a question. It may be a true or false question. It may be "A Sailboat in the Moonlight" by Billie Holiday is a 12-bar blues. And so would that be true or false? And so that would be false because and it even says on the listening guide it's AABA. So that might be an example of it. I might ask about the form. I might ask you, about the background story, like the buzzard lope. Does anyone want to tell me what was the background story behind the buzzard lope? Let's see. Um, So yeah, the Buzzard Lope from chapter 3. It was a spiritual dance with African origins, and so when a slave died, the slave was thrown into a field where their bodies were devoured by buzzards. And so it was this dance that emulated with the singers gathering in a circle, and they used a piece of cloth and they put that in the center to represent the dead body. And so, like that background information of the buzzard lope may be on the exam, so you'll want to know. So basically, what you'll want to do is go through each of these tunes and get the form of it, see if there's any background info. What style is it? Is it ragtime? Is it stride? Is it a blues? Is it New Orleans style? Um, and like I said, just any kind of any other background info. If there's a story behind it, like when I talked about Black and Tan Fantasy, the story behind that, that could definitely be a question in the exam. So it won't necessarily be you identifying the tune, but you'll want to know the info for these tunes. Does that make
So,
sense?
so this information is like in the lectures you've explained and the slides that you have provided in Canvas, like,
Yes, yes. And so a good place to start would be look at these tunes. And so I've put them up into basically the chapters. So chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would start with the Google Slides and try to find, the tunes. And then from there, you can maybe check your notes. And if you need to go to the lecture videos, you'll at least know what chapter and which part to go to. So that would be a good place to start, So I would look for these tunes on the Google Slides first, and then check out, your notes, or maybe go back and revisit some of the lecture videos.
all right, because I was concerned because I don't rely on my hearing at all. I don't think I can determine the forms just by listening. So,
Oh, right, right. And honestly, man, to tell you the truth, that it takes kind of a little bit of listening. Like you have to listen for, a decent amount, a couple months at least, to tell the form. But I've written the form and all of that stuff, or it's in the lecture video, so you won't have to figure it out on your own. That'd be kind of messed up.
mm. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. Good question. Let's see. Is all this that you're talking about is in the review you posted? Uh, yeah. So everything that I've talked about in this whole time is all information from the guides. I'm kind of just going down the list here. Um, so yeah. Um, So basically, yeah, this is definitely an important part of the grade. But like I said, if you have information on all the terms on the review guide and the listening guide, to tell you the truth, it should be a piece of cake. so so just make sure you have those notes handy when you're getting ready to take the test. Um, and and yeah, so I'll post the test on Monday, probably around noon, uh, somewhere around there on Monday, and you'll have all the way till Friday night at 11:59 to finish it. So I don't care when you finish it, just as long as you do. But don't forget about it, because I'm not going to be able to extend it for anyone. So make sure you have maybe an alarm set or something like that. I don't want to have to give people zeros because they forgot about the test. But you'll have until, so I don't care if you don't start the test till 11 p.m. on Friday, as long as you can finish it by 11:59. That's fine with me. Like I said, once you start the test, you have to finish it at that time. So just make sure that you're ready to do it once you hit start quiz or whatever it is. Um, so cool. And also, if you come up with any other questions during the week, feel free to message me on Canvas or shoot me an email. I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. Um, so if you don't, I'll maybe wait a little bit for some last minute questions. But if you guys don't have any questions, then I think we're good to go. And I'll post this on Canvas, so that if you want to revisit it, you can. Um, so yeah. So yeah, if there aren't any other questions, I think we're good to go then. Um, Thank you guys for coming. It was really cool. I didn't really see too many faces, but I got to chat with you on the chat, so that was nice. Um, and hopefully this helped. Do you guys think that this helped at least a little bit? Hopefully it did. Um, yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. I got a thumbs up. Okay. Cool. Yeah. It's hard on Zoom. I never know. So, but cool. Cool. Looks like it was cool. Um, so all right, everyone. Well, have a good weekend, and study up, and look for the test on Monday. I'll post it up probably about noon. So take it easy. I'll see you later.